just when you thought you were going to be flying Ryanair and they put you on a louder plane. Not so bad. It's still Ryanair, but my Ryanair boycott remains, at least for a little while longer. Hot off the back of Greece, we did something we haven't done in a long time, a multi-city trip. Now, this one was sandwiched between Greece and Latvia, and it was the shortest trip we had had since Brunei. I don't even know how to describe that. Don't fall. Did you almost fall? That was crazy. Think about it. If you could never do anything in front of the window because everyone is always taking pictures of you, like this guy. Yeah, come out for a kebab, no fucking way. Can't walk around naked in your own house, but you live in that. What a contrast. When normalcy takes over. Or is the insanity coming in? So we were toting our bags around the street and we got to the business of food very quickly. Now, Austrian food just sort of taps into something primal in me. Now, we had schnitzel and roast pork with these beautiful squishy dumplings. And I can still remember the taste. I can taste it in my mind. It was so delicious. I've noticed a trend of people talking shit about Airbnb online, saying that they were made to do chores like take out the trash or do the laundry or sweep up after themselves, which, to be fair, is not what you go to an Airbnb for. And they say, go to a hotel and live that life. Now, I contest that with 2 points. One, I don't like being waited on. And two, I say to you, find me a hotel room that looks like this. I feel like all I need out of this is a typewriter, a half-finished novel, and a glass of whiskey. And I'd be happy. It's pretty beautiful. Time was of the essence though. It's been a while since we had this under the pump. Now there was a market across town that was beckoning, and so we hit the streets and took in the facades on the way there. It was on closing, like right on closing, but there were still a few places open, and I was immediately taken by these glorious mushrooms and lingonberries. And here's the market where I got absolutely pillaged. I really got done over. We're talking like olives. The guy was like, yeah, no, just this mushroom. By the time he had mixed all the olives together, it was like 30 euros. My God. The guy's coming up now. This bastard over here. Be careful when you're coming to markets and don't do me. Don't be me. Let's just say that took the wind out of my sails. So we got a few more ingredients from the supermarket and then a bottle of wine and straight back home. So after being successfully pillaged by the olive man, I've decided to say when life gives you olives, make tapenade. So I'll be doing that and trying to work it into the dish somehow. But the basis of the dish is going to be a pumpkin puree. So you would usually go potato for a region like this, but come on, potato's been done. And I'm going to do a mushroom schnitzel. So I'll be basically thinly slicing the mushrooms, salting them, and like drawing out a little bit of the moisture, then flouring them, egging them, and then dredging them in breadcrumbs. And then basically giving them a good old fry up in some olive oil that I haven't actually bought yet. So this is my big ass bag of olives. Anyway, yeah, so big ass bag of olives. Time to start, actually no, I'm just going to use the ones without the pips in it. Because screw it, I'm not going to sit around here like pipping olives all bloody night. I've got things to cook, I've got things to do. And they've all got pips. I forgot to get the... So many olives. So we just got basil, olives, gonna get blended up, whatever. It's gonna be delicious because it's basil and olives. I'm not sure if you really catch that, but in the light, there's water starting to bead. The salt is drawing it out. Let's give it a go. Mushroom, the tapenade, not really a tapenade, whatever it is. Delicious. Not worth the price of the olives, I'm gonna say, but damn tasty. Layers of sweet, layers of salt, meatiness from the mushrooms. You could probably give that to someone that wouldn't, now they would know that there's no meat in it, but those mushrooms are just beautiful. That, from Greece to where we are now, that was all one day. And so we took the time that evening to have a glass of wine, to decompress, because the next day we were gonna put some miles on our legs for sure. Is supposedly pretty famous for its strudel, and I was walking there thinking that, oh gosh, there's gonna be a bloody influencer line halfway down the street for this place. But we got there, we had the place to ourselves. There was nobody, maybe like a couple day drinkers. The strudel was good, but to be honest, I've got no benchmark for what a good strudel is, and I guess it was pretty tasty. The 50s, or like, I don't know, 1900s or even 1800s. It's all meticulously preserved. It's quite a weird feeling, but a cool one. The things in this place just have a scope that is hard to fathom. I mean, come on. This place is like walking through a museum of ever unfurling details on a city level.
We're going in.
Wow, I think it'd be very cool. So the Schmetterling house, and there are a lot of Schmetterlings. I have nothing specific to say about the Schmetterling house, but it was a nice little detour. I'll also say that if you are going to go there, don't wear anything warm. It is pretty damn toasty. Makes Buckingham Palace look like a shanty. Bruh, he's not having a very good time at all. All of these fellas are on some like crazy roids, man. When it comes to statues, it's quite interesting. They've like really mastered the art of a dude on a horse. There's another one there. There's probably others, but every second statue seems to be a dude on a horse, looking like he's in a conquering mood. Another thing of note, I think this is the quietest city I've ever been to. There's just empty streets everywhere. On that note, this is how to not get screwed over by the olive man. Despite how fun markets can be, you don't always have to go to them. You're allowed to say no. If you don't like what you've got and you haven't touched it yet, just say no. If you do find yourself in a market, take your time. Remember, you don't owe them an answer, at least not right away. So, if someone asks you if you want something, like an olive, don't answer right away. Take your time. You're allowed to be quiet. This is the trap that I fell into. And this is why I've got a kilo of olives. Basically what I've learned over the past year is that markets aren't the be-all and end-all of an Airbnb feast. I've been going to them quite a bit less because the average person a local doesn't really go to them. They're for tourists, and while they're fun, they're absolutely not necessary. Vienna is meticulously beautiful. It's got bold strokes and refined details, and I feel like it really knows what it is. It's like a forest of detail that I got lost in, and I couldn't necessarily see it for the bigger picture, and I don't think you can after 2 days. I think you gotta like live there or have repeat visits to really understand what it's about. And I think that is the lure of this place. It keeps pulling you back in with details. And for that, it's really quite cool. On top of being one of the most beautiful cities I've ever seen in my life. I do feel like I want to go back, but next time just with less olives. Fuck that olive.
Time to sample the McDonald's. An important part of any new country. Slightly on the dry side, not as good as Greece. Same middle of the road. I don't think anything's going to be as bad as Italy or Spain when it comes to McDonald's. I'll try the cheeseburger. Cheeseburger's not as good as the hamburger. Solid middle of the road effort from Austria in terms of McDonald's.